The Bobcats continue their strong season as they have clinched their spot in the Basketball League playoffs. This is the Bobcats. Welcome on in, everyone. I'm your host, Jay Stevens. And to my right, like always, is the head coach of the team, Chandler Levingston Simon. Chandler, it must feel good to have already clinched your spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, it definitely feels good, but there's more work to be done because seeding still hasn't come out yet. So we still got to make sure we're getting that bye in the first round.
And then Joe, to my left, is Joe Burton. He is one of the Bobcats players that's back for, I believe, your second season here. You're playing with your brother, which has to be special this year. What's it been like playing with him this season?
It's been real good. It's kind of like a breath of fresh air a little bit. It was just kind of reminded me of like childhood days and stuff. But yeah, and like a lot of people don't get to play with your brother in the pros or playing with your brother in the professional sport. So it's definitely a blessing.
What was it like in the process of figuring out he wants to play pro and then getting him up here? What was the conversations y'all had before he got signed by the team?
It was kind of one of these things that kind of kept getting brought up. So. And during his senior year in college, he was, looking to continue his career. And I was just like, man, why don't you, come up here and play a season up here just to get your feet wet.
Yeah.
Just get your foot in the door. And he was like, yeah, like it was just kind of something he never thought about, seriously. And we kind of just kept bringing it up as it got closer. And then he came to a tryout and, Coach Chan liked what he seen. He was able to make the team, which was, just to me as a big bro, just real proud moment.
I feel like a lot of people with the TBL, they know there are opportunities to play pro, G League or NBA in America or maybe overseas in various leagues. I don't think a lot of people really know that the TBL is a good league, just a league in general. Then it's a good league, it's a respected league, which puts you in a really good spot because you're leading the team, but also you're able to give guys like his brother an opportunity to play at the pro level.
Yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity. It's a great, start for a lot of guys. I'm pretty sure I lost track of the count, but there's been 6 guys that have played in the NBA. I want to say 5,
Okay.
5, 6. I don't know. I lost the count, and I know there's another like 10 that played in the G League. So, and then from there, I know there's a bunch of guys that went overseas and did a bunch of stuff too. Like, one of the guys that kind of got an NBA opportunity was Summer League was Gino, who played here year one.
Yeah.
I actually got to play against Lindy Waters.
Okay.
We both did actually, because we were both in the Central Division at that time.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a wild year. Because that was the year first off of COVID, so the G League wasn't active. So we got a bunch of G League guys.
Yeah.
And then, because it was, I think, just in our conference there was 3.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4.
Yeah. So it was Lindy Waters, Chance Comanche ended up playing for the Kings.
If you want to count Lyle Hexon, he played for the Memphis Grizzlies Summer League.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I know, what's his name? Chicken. From Omaha.
Yeah, from Omaha. I forgot his name, but I know.
Craig.
Yeah.
Craig Sword. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he played for the Wizards.
Okay.
So yeah, just in that conference, it was 4 guys I know in that conference. They got an opportunity in the NBA of some sort. And like I said, there's been countless others. I know a couple guys out west. Kyle, the big man.
I forgot something with is it Keller?
Yeah,
Keller or something like that.
So yeah, he got an opportunity to play.
He was with the Salem Capitals.
Yeah. So I know him. There's been a few other guys that have that opportunity as well. So I know it's a great way for guys to start and then transition their career into a lot of different other things.
I love that. Has your brother, kind of speaking for him right now, we'll get him on the show later on, but has your brother shown interest to play pro ball after this year?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's always been the goal. So this is kind of one of those like his first step.
Okay.
Into being a professional. So after this, he's definitely continuing his endeavors and being a professional basketball player.
Are you one of those big brothers that lets him kind of do his own thing, figure it out on his own? Like, hey, he's stumbling, but he kind of got to overcome that by himself? Or are you trying to be very hands on with him here. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. With my brother, I kind of always been there. I've
Yeah.
always just been a big brother.
Yeah.
I've always just been his big brother.
Okay.
So whatever he wants to bring to me, whatever it may be, and the timing he may bring it to me in is the timing that we need to have the conversation.
I feel that.
So I ain't never really pushed anything, like just forced anything out of him or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It was never like that. He just whenever he ready, he come to me.
What's it been like seeing them two play together?
I mean, it's definitely a good experience because, I mean, like I've known Joe, what is it now, like almost 10 years?
Yeah.
9, 8?
9.
Yeah.
Almost to that 10.
Man.
Yeah, and then I've known Javon about the same amount of time. Like I've known him since he was in high school.
Wow. Okay.
So, because he'd always be on, like, Joe would always be at my house, and then
I would always be on the phone with him.
Yeah.
Just be showing him stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
be talking to him on the phone
Yeah.
and stuff. So
it's it's definitely been a great experience in terms of like seeing his growth in terms of from the past 9 years. It's a different experience. I'll say it also makes me feel a little bit older at times, but it is what it is.
He's about to come in here one day with a whole bunch of gray hair because you're the old man in the room.
I already got him.
Because of him.
No, I've had him
Because of him and Trey.
I've had it since I was 13. So like
I had to do that. I had to.
tried to do that to us.
No.
Watch when Trey watch this. He gonna be look. Trey, he tried to do that to us. He tried to do that to us.
Joe's not really, anytime Joe just kind of does his own thing, just fades to the background at times.
I got a couple grades myself, so like you talk about Chan feeling old. That's my little brother, so I feel seeing him every day. I be like, man, bro, I remember when I was holding you, bro. Like it's crazy. Now we the same height and everything. So it's
Who got more hops?
Nah, it's me. It's for sure me.
You answer that quick.
No, yeah, he would too if he was.
Okay,
he would. Yeah, he knows what the difference in legs. So but he knows that.
Who got the better jump shot?
Me.
You answering everything quick.
Yeah, it's. I'm the older brother.
Yeah, but sometimes a little brother has something better in those two categories.
Yeah.
He handles the ball better.
Yes. Definitely has better handles than me.
Okay.
Definitely, he's definitely the. I always say that because I seen him, kind of grow up. He's the point guard to me. So I'm the wing forward. He's the point guard to me. His handles and his scoring is a lot. It's kind of different than mine. I feel you. It makes more sense. My game is really kind of based on being athletic, 3-pointers. He's more of a mid range, get to the basket, jump hook, up and unders. What I'm saying? But he's still 6'6", so you still got to respect that.
Yeah. So last week you guys played 3 games. Won the first one on the road at Lebanon. Unfortunately, lost 2 in a row. Lost to St. Louis, the only time that they'll come to Kokomo, and then lost on Sunday to Logansport. Let's go to that win first. I believe you guys have played Lebanon 5 times. The belt has stayed here the entire time. Joe, what stood out in that win last week against Lebanon that helped you guys in that game with the W?
Honestly, just sticking to our principles. That's really all really all that we preach in practice. That's really all we preach as a team. And the belt stuff is, that's cool. Like, yeah, it's a real good. It makes it more competitive, but we still out there just playing basketball, just like everybody else. So sometimes, a lot of times, honestly, we get lost in the game, and then when I call snap out of it, we realize that's when it's like, oh, we playing for something. Like we just out here playing. So, but that's all we really did. We just really stick to our principles, stick to our defensive principles. Coach Chan does a great job at really realizing what we lack at and capitalizing on it while we in practice and helping us fix it.
So it's not the first time someone's come on the show talking about the importance of sticking to the principles that you preach on mainly the defensive end. In that game, would you say that the team did that to win that game?
We did for 44 minutes of that game.
And he said that after the game.
Okay.
Like the last 4 minutes, we were up 20 points. Last 4 minutes, we kind of got away from it a little bit. But up until that point, I mean, we were on pace to hold them towards 100.
Okay.
So, or like 105 or around that. We were on
Yeah.
pace for that, and then we ended up, giving up a good amount of baskets in the last 4 minutes. Few too many.
I could tell you're frustrated just talking about it.
No, not really frustrated, but it just was an opportunity that we had, and we just didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many opportunities you get in a season.
Mm-hmm. Are those games against Lebanon as tough as they seem?
It's kind of yes and no. Like I said before, it's just like playing basketball every day. It's kind of like going to open gym every week and playing against the same people.
I feel that.
Just with jerseys.
Yeah.
So even with the guys out there, like the Lebanon players, it's kind of like you get stuck in a cycle of playing basketball. You get stuck in you're not even really controlling it. Yeah, I'm shot faking you, and you jumping, and you're not really trying to jump, but you got to jump.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like so it's kind of like that. So
plus, I mean, a lot of the guys, there's so much crossover with both teams and things like that. Like everybody plays with each other all year,
all summer.
So it's like, it ends up just being kind of like another run.
So y'all are at all the open gyms, all summer long.
That's what I did. Choosing to stay out here over the summer. I was at a lot of open runs around Indiana, and I saw a lot of those guys.
Okay.
So and then me and Omega Harris, we have probably like a 15-year history.
Oh wow.
Going to camps together, being at all the major camps together, being on the same team. He being from Oklahoma and I'm from Texas is not really too far.
Right.
So we met each other up on the AAU circuit. So yeah, it's just kind of like it's kind of like one of those game recognized games. So every time we play, Lebanon, it's like like we know what's going on, just like what we come in with. So,
Joe, what happened against St. Louis?
Whew. Now that one, we just kind of what Coach Chan was talking about with the Lebanon game.
Okay.
We kind of let up a little bit. Against Lebanon, we kind of had a really big lead, and then towards the end, that's when they started coming back and we started relaxing. This time, we was playing against a little bit of a better team, and when we did that, they capitalized, and that is how that L is sitting right there on that paper. I mean, did I say it wrong?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he took the words out of my mouth. I was going to ask the same thing.
That's kind of, how, just like how I was just talking about the game. It's just kind of how simple the game is right there. When we play against really good teams, not saying that, Lebanon is not a good team, but right now, St. Louis is the better team.
Yeah.
So when we played against a better team and we didn't change those mistakes and we, in the game, St. Louis capitalized on it, and every time they capitalized on it, they made it a plus.
Was that the same thing that happened against Logansport, where y'all didn't capitalize on those moments?
Yes. And I think we kind of let the loss that we had the day before roll over to the next day. So
I mean, the story of the year and any loss that we've had has kind of been free throws and turnovers. We get away with it in a fair amount of games, but we missed 20 free throws in the St. Louis game.
Yeah, man,
had like 20 turnovers, 20 something. You can't. I mean, it's hard to win games like that. And the fact that we were in the game like that, I mean, we're a pretty good team then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like pretty talented, pretty good team. But the fact is, we just got to clean up some of that stuff. And I mean, a lot of these wins would be a lot bigger, and a lot of these losses probably would not happen if we did that. I mean, I think we're shooting in the bottom third.
Oh wow.
Of the league in field goal or free throw percentage.
I knew it was bad when we talked about it before.
Yeah, it's like 60 something, 65, 66.
You got a team full of Shaqs? I mean, you can shoot from three.
Yeah, but right now my free throw percentage is not good. But like Coach Chan said, right now that's what we've really been focusing on in practice. After practice, at the end of practice, right now we got to make 70 free throws between two groups. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, so right now that right there, ain't nothing we can do but get in the gym.
And I know that him doing that, with you doing that, Chandler, at the end of practice, that's very important to me. I'm not a coach at all.
Yeah.
I can just realize at the end of practice, you're tired, not just physically, but mentally.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that late in the third quarter, halfway through the fourth quarter, you're tired physically and mentally, but you still got to make these shots to have a shot to win the game. It's probably a good time for you to pull that out and really get guys to put themselves there on the line, but also you got your teammates around you. And
Yeah.
if you miss, you got to hear from them after you walk to the side.
Well, not only that, I yell at them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, depend.
Well,
It's
this
not so much
week-
yell. It's more so I am avidly making fun of every single one of them.
So like this week of practice, we've been like these last couple of days, we've been we always line up on the baseline and we always have a certain amount of free throws we got to make it now in order to not run. So, but he always stands at the free throw line.
I'm like, if you can
Like
stand
this close, how we are right
Oh,
now.
man.
Yeah, if you can stand, if you can make a free throw with me
look at
standing
you up
right
and
there.
down, and then he'll chop on something you got on, or just something about you. He'll say something just loud in your ear, just to, just kind of just test you. See if you can make the free throw through all that. And if you can make the free throw through all that, you can make your free throws.
You love playing mind games.
No, but I mean that's one of those things. Like if you can do that, you should be able to make a free throw with
should.
nobody right there.
You should.
I mean,
Gym full of loud people saying all type of stuff to you.
yeah. I mean, like you should be able to. Because really, though, if like you have somebody that knows you, I know what buttons to push.
Yeah.
So if I know what buttons to push, then more than likely, that should be easier than somebody that's just kind of trying to figure it out
Mm-hmm.
in the gym.
It's also confidence too. Confidence in reps. So more free throws we shooting in practice, and of course on your extra time and your own time, percentage will go up. That's for sure.
Is it safe to assume that in your free time, you're working on free throws at that point too?
Yeah, shooting any type of shooting, especially now, definitely working on it. So I must say, Coach Chan catches me and my brother a couple times. At least after every practice, me and my brother get shots up. We always end with free throws.
I like that. Chan, will turn to you. I've seen stuff on Facebook. I know people have been talking. I'm going to ask a question and just open the mic up to you. What happened after the game against Logansport?
There was an unfortunate incident that happened. Player from our team, player from their team, kind of got into it, spilled out into the hallway. As far as I know, there was not actually any type of punch or anything that was thrown. But I've also heard like mixed reviews on that, so I'm not really sure on that. But as of right now, because of the commotion, everything that did happen, there's going to be suspensions that are thrown out for both players. So, I mean, I'm not really 100% sure on the duration of those suspensions, like officially, but, they've kind of, it might be around here, might be around that. Don't expect anything lower than this,
Okay.
that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, not really sure yet 100% on what that's going to look like and what the punishment, things like that are going to look like. But, yeah, it did happen.
You're on the team playing. I happened to be at the game watching. You can tell it was going to get a little tense. It's unfortunate that happened. But after the fact, how do you as a player help your teammates to avoid things like that happening?
Just helping them realize, the bigger picture. We are professionals here. We got people watching. Some players have, little ones have children. They watching. They look up to us. Just always reminding them that people are watching, man. Your character is, that's really how you get jobs right there. I got friends around the world that they ain't averaging about nothing, but they got some of the best jobs in the Euro League just because of their character, just because they're good people. So that's really all we kind of preached to Trey once we got back in the locker room. It was kind of just me, him, Larry, and a couple other guys back there. We were just like, man, you got to think about it, man. You got 2 kids out there watching you. So you acting erratic. We can't show the youth that. That's not what we preaching to the youth. So, but now my brother he understands.
Okay.
So he understands, and he ready to take his consequences on like a man. So all we can do as his teammates is just be there for him.
I feel like that's one of the benefits of this team, Chandler. We've talked about it a lot, even last year when we were on the show. Players being able to police themselves and really hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Like, stuff happens. I'm not trying to throw shade, or I'm not trying to do none of that stuff, but stuff happens. And hearing you talk about multiple players discussing and talking about, think about this part of the picture, think about that part of the picture. It also goes into you being able to bring certain guys in to help when someone stuff happens, and they can help police it themselves. That, to me, that feels good about the guys on the team, that they're able to help other players remember the bigger picture about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps and makes my job easier. Because, at times there's a weird, you have to be I guess the disciplinarian. I was different word, but I mean, I guess that's probably the better word for it. It makes my job easier in terms of that.
Did you have that in mind when trying to put the team together this year, about having guys in that can police the locker room?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There's definitely moments where you have an idea of who's going to kind of lead things at times, and then who's going to because you mean when guys, their personalities, different things like that, you can kind of guess and see how things are going to mesh and flow.
All right, so players are now policing themselves. Will continue to police what's going on in the locker room, and that's really a big benefit for the entire team. But Chandler, we ain't really talked a lot about what certain players do off the court outside of basketball. We talked to numerous players about extra work they put in, about you and stuff like that. What do you do in your free time to just relax?
So me, I take a lot of, random, I would say random trips. So a lot of random trips I would take to lakes or anything. Like me and my woman just came back from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Had a little cabin out there and just kind of get away. But my other hobby that I kind of made it into a business now is I thrift and resell clothes.
Ooh.
So yeah, I kind of picked it up probably around COVID, and then it kind of kept just getting serious and more serious as the years went on. It was a real big hobby, turned into a really, really, really big hobby where I was doing it every day in my free time when I wasn't doing anything basketball related. And then it kind of turned into a business. I kind of found out about this app called Depop, and found out you can make money just reselling old clothes from Goodwill and thrift stores and stuff like that. So I was like, man, why not? I kind of developed a love for this. So why not turn it into a business? And now me and my brother have, me and my brother do it as well, and we kind of collabed on it. And right now on the business page, we have a good solid about 35 followers, and we've made a little bit over 1,000.
Nice.
It's just accumulated on since I've had the business. I've had it since June.
Okay.
So we've accumulated probably a little bit over $1,000 as a whole, as how many things we've sold. So that's kind of why sometimes you'll see me, I remember last year I used to be kind of laughing about the stuff that me and Trey talking about laying out outfits and all that stuff. But what's crazy is he's a customer, so so he kind of took a liking to some of the tees and sweaters that I'd be wearing, and was like, man, where you get that? I was like, bro, I honestly sell it. So I sell it at a cheaper price. So it's yeah, a couple of my teammates didn't really tapped in with me. Larry really taps in with me pretty much almost every game day. So it's
wow.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, Larry. So you know where it's at. So, but it's really fun. Me and my brother and my lady as well. She does it as well, and we kind of that's what we do. We kind of travel and go around different cities and kind of states and kind of just thrift and check out yard sales, conventions, stuff like that. It's honestly really fun.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but you just opened the door and had to walk right through it. Wasn't it last year this man said he didn't lay his fit out? Wasn't that last year he said that? And then Max came on after you and Trey came on, and Max said, oh, yeah, he lays his fits out. But you denied it.
I denied the way that Trey was perceiving it. Like he was perceiving it like high school, like how you lay your whole fit out with the socks and the shoes and all that. I don't do that. I may like go into my closet, throw a piece out, throw another piece out, and then build from that. Just bam, bam. Then I put some shoes on, and then that's a wrap.
You know he knows you very well.
Yeah, I know, but he's still, you know, he don't be around all the time. So he don't wake up, we not even in the same house. So it's like, yeah, no, I don't do it that way. Same way with Trey. Me and Trey not in the same room. So that's what I do. I wake up and
I've walked in there before, and there's been something laying a little bit.
yeah, I never said I didn't lay them out. Like I just said the way Trey said it is not the way I do it. I go in there, grab a piece, and throw it out, and I build from whatever piece I grab first or whatever piece I want to wear. So if it's a pair of pants I want to wear, I build off of that. If it's just a pair of shoes that I want to wear, I just build off of that. And whatever clothing piece I put out first is whatever I build it off of. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Depop, follow me, 0095, vintage.
That's on Instagram?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
0095 vintage on Instagram. Follow it. You know, we got some good pieces.
So you say you like to travel and go to lakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get off the clothes thing because we gotta get the show up
it's
soon.
cool. It's cool.
Where have you gone to Indiana to kind of get?
I actually been to Jackson Morrow's, the Jackson Morrow's Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually, I didn't know it had like some little trails in the back there. Yeah, it's actually really nice.
Yeah.
So I honestly didn't know. I thought it was just the little running trail, and then I ran the little running trail and actually found out that it was a little lake in the cut back there, and it's really cool.
You know, he's continued his love of travel.
Yeah. Still like traveling.
That's the Peekaboo Tour.
Peekaboo Tour.
I will about that back up.
Now you know you're gonna say that. People gonna want to know what you're talking about.
That's why I'm like, he just brought that up in front of everybody. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna leave it alone. He knows what it is.
Me and Chandler went to college together, and I didn't particularly like going home. I wouldn't say like going home that much. It was just kind of a little too much to go home, go all the way back to Houston. So Chan was, you know, like a real brother. He'd be like, bro, you can come back home with me. And sometimes we would just venture off. You know, just go to different states and cities and visit stuff and like just randomly. So it would be cool. And whoever had the idea of the adventure, it pitched it to the other person. And the other person was cool with it. And if I didn't mind driving, we was on the road.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. It was cool.
I could tell there's stories that cannot be told on the show right now, but it looks like y'all faces. This week for the BobKats, there's 2 games. Only two games this week. A home game Friday against Lebanon, and then on the road Saturday at the Berry Bowl in Logansport. You looking forward to getting back out there this week?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's always a good time with Lebanon. And then, you know, it's definitely going to be a solid game in Logansport. I have no clue what to expect during the course of that game, but, you know, should be interesting.
So I'm going to ask you a question about this and wonder if something similar might happen on Saturday. You made a strategic move down the stretch. Sheen wasn't out there. Corey wasn't out there. I think the big men were Trey and Johnny. And I don't know how long down the stretch of the Logansport game I'm talking about on Sunday where you decided to not have 2 of your traditional big men out there on the court. Is that something that was a newer thing that you were trying? Because I haven't been every game, so I have no idea if that's something that's been like a closing lineup for the team lately.
No, not particularly.
Okay.
They were kind of flowing a little bit at times, and that was the defense. They were playing defense, and they were getting stops. So I was like, all right, we're just going to rock with you guys for till it's not really working. And this was the one thing that I did say I didn't necessarily love, but, you know, it's kind of on us on that one. But that scoreboard, like I might have left them out there a little too long at times. But the scoreboard that's closest to us, I usually look down the line of players and like I can see the scoreboard and kind of, you know, that'll get away from me a little bit more
Right.
than I normally do, time wise, managing the game. But it happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Things like that.
This week, y'all playing two teams you're very familiar with. I forgot how many times you've played Lebanon and Logansport, but it's probably
Half the schedule.
it's
pretty much.
been a lot. In games where you know teams very well, especially talking about how you've been knowing these guys for couple guys for years and seeing them in open runs in the summer. Should fans expect lower scoring games this weekend since these two teams are so familiar?
No. You shouldn't expect a low scoring game at all. Like, yeah, we are still who we are in Lebanon, and Logansport is still who they are. So that's not gonna change.
Okay.
So we still gonna go out there and give it our best and be competitive, and so are they.
I feel that. Joe, last thing here. What's your last word for the people to get them to come out Friday at the home game against Lebanon?
Make sure you guys still show your support. We still go out there and give it all for you guys, and we still appreciate you guys' love and support this whole season, and we appreciate you guys.
The floor is yours.
What he said.
That's Joe Burton. That's Chandler Levingston Simon. This has been the BobKast. I'm your host, Jay Stevens. We'll see you next time.